You know what I'm saying? Good morning, universe. My allergies are fucking out of control. That's nice. It's been a long time since I've had a season of allergies. But whatever it has been that came out 2 or 3 weeks ago and has only intensified. Ugh. I should not be touching the inside of my eyes right now. Shit itches so much. It just makes it worse. Anyway, so I apologize for the sniffling. I'll try blowing my nose once. We'll see if it works. Pause. Unpause. Okay. I have also forced myself to burp 3 times, and what else did I do? I grabbed my lists and organized myself, whatever organizational limits that may impose, which are whatever the lowest limit you can imagine. But I have positioned the microphone correctly. I hopefully have taken into account the listener experience in as much of a capacity as I will ever care to do so, which is to mean that I am minimizing, if not, I don't think I can completely erase my own tendency to make noise in the background, but I can minimize it, and I can speak into the microphone clearly so that you can hear me and understand me. Disagree with me, hate me, think I'm a moron, think I'm delusional, think I'm literally someone that you would send an ambulance full of white-coated, what are those people? Nurses? Residents? I don't even know what a mental health facility worker's official designation would be. I wonder if they have to be LPNs just for the job. I don't know. But that person with a bunch of straps on a coat that allows my arms to just hug myself. I mean, the world won't hug me. At least this coat will. I don't know. I might be crazy. I think about it. I mean, I consider it the way that I would assume sane people do. I don't know. Maybe only crazy people think about it if they're crazy. I have to often take solace in the idea that if I'm creating a reality around me that is this mythical but still meaningful, and all the mythical side is a straight up mind game I'm playing on myself, well, if that's what makes you a kind, forgiving, understanding, and dedicated to the betterment of humanity person, I mean, is the game flawed? Well, it could be. And talking about things that are flawed was really what I was getting on to speak about this morning. And in humanity's composition, I wonder if we're flawed only because we are given the opportunity to see ourselves as flawed or potentially flawed entities. If you woke up in a circumstance of manifestation on a planet where nobody ever did anything other than take care of their fellow species members, should their fellow species members be in a position of needing help. Otherwise, everybody just acts accordingly in a kind, generous, and enthusiastic spirit. In all ways of living. Do you ever think of yourself as potentially someone who would beat their wife? I feel like the reason we come to Earth is because this is the place where things slipped away from the ethereal, Eden, however you want to think of a perfect scenario of harmonic living with the planet as well, into this. But this stabilized. well, stabilized. This persists. Whereas every other system that falls into disentanglement eventually completely annihilates itself. The fact that we have been able to maintain our warring capacity without just finishing it off, well, maybe that is the event that we're here to witness. Maybe species annihilation happens only so often. And if you want to be in on what it's like to participate in one, well, you showed up now. And the fact that they sent 144,000 do-gooders down here to see if they could turn that tide around. And then somehow we did. I don't know how it happened. I didn't do anything. Maybe that's what the white light is. Maybe that's why there's no mapping behind it, because no one fucking knows how we keep persisting. We're supposed to have self-annihilated how many times now? And yet here we are again, about to make it through this next round, which will be the hardest thing we've ever faced. I mean, I guess when you came and made us out of the good spirit of Mother Earth into these self-aware, self-doubting, unsure of anything beings of conflict, well, you thought you could just wash the surface clean of us and we would forever be a stain on the memory book of this galaxy. But no, humans have a way of fucking making themselves work with whatever you're going to give them to work with. And that innovative insight into how it is to make your situation better, that possibility that you live with, always seeing a world around you in a way that, how can I make this better for myself? How can I make this better for myself? Well, what it comes down to, species extinction, existence, that's the species to bet on. They're the ones who can go from mitochondrial mother to 7 billion, or whatever the real number is. Doesn't matter. We are prolific, we are persistent, and we are proof that the human spirit is something truly divine. Pause. Pause. Whoa! Oh, that was a magnet. Good. Hey, you know what else humans are? Dumb. Yeah, dumb. Dumb and divine. That's us. Dumb. And divine, but dumb. Pause. Unpause. And not just because I spooked myself while holding a propane torch in a fucking awkward position. I mean, yeah, that's kind of dumb, but that's just me being me. I mean, humans are dumb. We're fucking dumb. We allow ourselves to be talked into the idea that there's another one of us that's against us. And then in allowing those beliefs to actually crystallize, we then therefore have to believe that we're capable of disliking someone, of disrespecting them, really, is what I mean here, or dismissing their humanity, dismissing their personhood. Yeah, we have to believe that if there's one of us who's out to get us, well, we have to be ready to protect ourselves from that person. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's not how it works. What other species on this planet kills its own members in a situation that doesn't involve starvation? I'm going to stop handling my phone because that's on my list of shit I got to quit doing. That's not even the phone that goes to the internet. Pause. Pause. Okay. That was a bit of a detour because one thing you have to separate from nature's design are the infanticide circumstances that certain species have to enact given resource scarcity. Two, you also have to take into account that nature has a way of ridding itself of lines of weakness that may be a result of, say, chemical contamination or whatever it is that they may have run into in a circumstance that is introducing potential species-wide concerns. Well, those litters may also be eradicated by said mother of consequence who recognizes the species' potential existence is on the line. There are those two circumstances where infanticide is occurring. So, that's not killing your own species. That's protecting it. What you really want to look at is how often are adult or even juvenile level animals targeting each other for murderous results. And it doesn't happen often. In fact, what little evidence there is comes down to what you could only describe as emotionally reactive circumstances. And I'm talking about target other animals for, say, combat, or in most cases, when females turn aggressive, they're out to kill. Because when females do it, it is one circumstance only, a competition or a question of viability of the litter. A mother will protect its young from another female to the death, as you might expect. And a queen of the situation, and this is one time when I guess female hierarchy does reveal itself, is when resources are scarce enough that another mother will come after a litter because there is no hope for all of us if we have that many mouths to feed. And meerkats are your prime example to go check this out if you want to go look. But these, and in that circumstance, the mother of the litter may go down. Nature's a harsh place on this planet. When all of it's in balance, no animal acts this way. Even humans, our proclivity for emotional murder, of which really only the mammals of the primate variety and bears and African mammals as well. I don't know why bears, but African mammals as well, where resources are incredibly scarce. In fact, only in African mammals do you have convincing evidence of actual tribal murder. And it's chimpanzees. Will take out other groups of chimpanzees to claim territory that they see as theirs. And again, this all looks like resource scarcity to me. And as you might imagine, with us taking more and more territory away from nature's animal population, it's doing what it must. And that is reducing as necessary when resources demand such. Now, most species, this behavior does not exist. But they did find 352 species that had some sign of adult or juvenile level animals murdering their own kind. What they did not take into account is how many of these were done to remove a diseased animal from the group, which looks like a lot of it. But like I said, if you're going to take these questions into consideration, don't just go read an article that tells you that in a recent study of an entire year of of meerkat behavior that there was a 19% murder rate among meerkats. No, in a study that was done where resources were so scarce that they literally had meerkats starving to death. Well, in that study, there was there's no stopping the reproductive instinct of male mammals. Number one, they are programmed to fire off as much seed into as much fertile ground as they can. That is what's happening to the male instinct at its most basic level for all mammals. And so when that instinct becomes a burden, it is the matriarch of the manor, meerkats, but it's the matriarch who must take the unenviable role of culling the herd. And it's tragic. But that circumstance, if left to your own devices, might have you telling people, well, humans don't even murder. When you look at nature, we've overcome that shit. In nature, there's like species with a 20% murder rate. At least that's 1 out of 5 deaths is due to murder. Can you imagine if humans were like that? So quit telling me that humans are fucking murderers. We're not. And you say, oh man, really? Meerkats? Those fucking, like, stand up waiting for the bus looking things? Yeah. No way. Glad I'm not a meerkat. No. Nope. There you are, reading one article, getting an entirely skewed perspective, which is intentionally presented in the article to give you that. And then walking away thinking, we got it, we're all good. Nope. As a matter of fact, other than chimpanzees, which arguably is strictly about resource infractions, because it's never somebody going from this neighborhood all the way across the goddamn continent to that neighborhood to take that group of chimpanzees out. No. It's the ones that are on the other side of the water hole who now keep coming over and stealing your fruit. Those motherfuckers might have to be dealt with. But we're the only ones who pack up the fucking house, load it onto a goddamn airplane, fly all the way around the world, land, unpack the house, which turns out to be tanks and ammunition, and just start fucking murdering people. That is humans. Pause. Pause. And I don't know whether to say humans at our best or humans at our worst here. Because we're the only ones doing it, we kind of get to claim both, don't we? I mean, we are the best warring species ever. We should have annihilated ourselves by now. So we're also the worst. I mean, can we get on with it already? Why aren't we setting off the nukes? What the fuck are we waiting for? Pause. Pause. All right. Okay, hang on. Let's finish this thought. Let's not let it dangle. So, why haven't we just set off the nukes? Well, don't give me that conspiracy shit that nuclear weapons don't exist. But the truth of it is, it's our humanity. Nobody wants to see the end of our species. Self-annihilation is not what we're programmed for. We are manipulatable. We are donkeys looking for carrots. So if you're willing to hold one over our face with a stick, well, believe it or not, you can get a whole lot of misappropriated energy directed in your favor through our belief in a better world, in a better circumstance for ourselves. We'll always think that we can make things improve. Even when things are at their worst, we look around thinking, yeah, but we can fix this. We got this. We're just optimistic that way. And in fact, that's what gets used against us, to become these murdering hordes that we like to call standing armies. It's only by twisting our best intentions against us that can occur, but it can occur. That's how much we want a better world. Sick to think, but it really is where it comes from. So, what I want to tie this all up with is to remind you that it's only by convincing yourself that somehow you're not worth fulfilling the obligation that every other animal shows instinctually, because that's what all of our instincts are here on Mother Earth, are to see those among our own kind flourish, fully embracing a destiny fulfilled with purpose and intent that leads to the sort of existence of cooperative realization that leaves you in nothing but a state of joy from within. And I don't care how many people think I'm delusional in having this vision of what society can look like, because I'm well aware of what it's like to live in that society, having done so. And if you tap back far enough into your existence realities, in your subconscious states, I'll bet you can find your own resonating harmony there. We've all had that experience. We all know that experience is why we're here. So the jarring shock that it is to manifest in this version of reality, not that one, well, then all the self-doubt comes in, although I'm not worth it, all this whole planet is fucked thoughts. How did I end up here? I don't even fit in. What am I doing with my life? Nothing feels real. I have no value. Everything feels wrong. Yeah, so let's fix it. Right? Are we ready? Can we fix it today? When are we going to start? I started 2 years ago, and while I'm making headway, this is going to be a long project if I'm the only one in. If the rest of you are still signing up to be murderous horde participants, well, that's one way we could stop. We could just tell them we're not going to kill in the name of country anymore, because country doesn't even exist. It's just lines on a map. Pause. Pause. I will take only one question from the audience here, because I just don't even understand having to answer this question, which is why I'm going to. And that is, anybody who thinks, yeah, but humans aren't up for that. They can't do it. That's not in our nature. We are built to team up and then organize in a way that demands conflict among us. It's how we are. If you can look at history and find me a time in which that's not true, then I'll start listening to your Hakuna Matata, everything's okay, give me that flower and put it in my gun barrel, thinking about life. But until then, I'm dealing with reality. So, if you don't mind, I'm going out there to protect your sorry-ass existence from being exterminated in a way that it would be if I wasn't around. Well, okay, Mr. Jack Nicholson coming down the stand from that Tom Cruise movie. What's that one called? A Few Good Men. Of course. That might have even won the Oscar, embarrassingly enough. Go military. But if that's your opinion, then all I say to you is, not only is your self-loathing running rampant, but you're letting it leak into the entire society, you fuckstick, so stop it. Unpause. I didn't mean to call you a fuckstick. You're a fucking fuckstick. I still love you, but you're the fucking problem. Pause. Unpause. So, and listen, group, all of you, everyone. us in total, the inclusive, big, worldwide hug, if we want to just zap ourselves with nuclear weapons and call it a fucking failed attempt, I'm okay with that. Seriously. I don't have kids. I don't have attachment. I'm okay. Light her up. Send one directly into Denver, please. I want to go in the immediate extermination phase. I don't want to live through nuclear fallout. But I'm in. I'm ready. If we think that we are the kind of species to which ascension is no longer even a goal, let alone attainable, I'm okay with us deciding that and zapping us out of existence. I mean, as I said, in a life of self-loving embrace, I've run into one other human living in the same level of peaceful contentment. One. So the two of us, I should probably make sure she's okay with it. But I'm one vote, so at worst you've got us on a split. And if the rest of you think it's too much to bear or endure or embear, whatever burden has saddled you with the idea that we need to dispose of ourselves, okay. But let's set them all off at once, right? Let's do the job right. Let's show, at least in the way that we kill ourselves off for good, that when we really got our heads together and put a plan on the table to make something work, we could make it work. Let's leave on a high note, right? Let's at least let the galaxy think, well, at least it didn't take them 2 shots to the back of their head to kill themselves. Nope. They got that job done right the first time. Pause. Pause. No offense to anyone that has a stutter. I do appreciate how challenging the world can be to people with things like a stutter, because I lived with the stutter up the street when I was a kid, and boy did I think the world treated him unfairly. So if you thought that was me making fun of people who stutter, it wasn't, even though it could be interpreted as such, which is why I'm going through all of this rigmarole to tell you it wasn't. So if you take it as such now, well then I think, again, like that fucking fuckstick, at this point, you're the problem. Which is my 27 minutes and 50-second roundabout way of finally getting to the topic at hand, flawed systems. Because if you look at humanity from the system side perspective, you might just say, well, they're a flawed system. They are. They do these things that fuck shit up. Yeah, there's some potential of the somewhat artistic kind, I guess. The creativity among them. The ways that they have worked out using sound, we're pretty impressed with. Yeah. They do sound good. But you give them any other sense of existence in this reality, and, well, they're more aligned to fucking shit up than they are to making things ascend. So how do we get them to just spend their entire time making music? How do we get them to do that? That would make them something worth keeping around. But okay, yeah, they could write books, I suppose. No, I don't know if we can trust them with that. Maybe just music. Okay. Well, see, I just don't see humanity that way. I see us as the embodiment of the potential realization of everything 3D reality offers to manipulate. We are the most capable creative energy that exists. It's just a question of whether or not we're willing to embrace that, push it forward in a supportive role of species ascendancy. I don't know that we can get past our own, give me my flak jacket, I'm going to go out there and see what I can do about this war that won't end, but is worth giving my life for, rather than making music, which is all I ever wanted to do. But no, I'm gonna go save my country from certain existential threats like those countries. Humans. Fucking humans. Oh, humans. We're so stupid. Okay, but I don't think we're a flawed system. You might want to argue otherwise. If you do, well, your arguments so far are rather thin, because all I hear coming out of your mouth when you retort is shit you've been trained to think. And like a puppy, yes, you are a good trained thinker. That you are good at. You do like to be told what to think and then walk around telling people that that's what you think now. But having created ambient noise that didn't need to happen by dropping my bottle cap, let's move on to the system that is our government. Yeah, I know. Is there anything more fun than talking about flawed humanity followed by flawed government? Yeah, we'll talk about the flawed economy next. That'll be awesome. If representative government is the best idea we've got, because in management scale, a 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 process of determining legislation and then voting on it would be way too much to ask. That's all we would end up doing, is processing civilizational, administrative, bureaucratic nonsense. And I don't think any of us are here for that. I'm trying to think of... Yeah, no, I don't think any of us are. I think all of us are here to have a stimulating life above that. But I do think we still need organization of a structural kind. And so when you start to think about the votes and the counting of the votes, and then you think about the representatives and their constituencies, and if it's not all 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1, well, then you do end up with imbalance. And once imbalance exists, then there is either a need for countermeasures to rebalance, or that imbalance will only grow. Once something is tilted out of tranquility, unless there are measures that bring it back into its synchronous existence, that tranquility no longer exists. It's gone. And so I fear that any governmental situation that depends on the vote, well, it ends up contaminated, because somebody's got to count the fucking vote. So then all voting is counted in the public square. Okay. Including all legislative voting is done in the public square. All proceedings of a civilizational determining factor must be done in complete sunlight at all times, and then laid bare for eternity to process exactly what happened. To me, these seem like the basics of a civilization functioning correctly. I don't see how we would want to assemble a group to represent us, the collective, and then those groups of us tell us, hold on. There is some shit we're doing over here that we don't want you guys to see. We're protecting you from this information because we think it might be in your own best interest not to know. You're doing what? No, seriously, what'd you just say? You mean over there where you're voting? You're doing this now in private? No, you're not. What are you talking about? Don't make me go get some chimpanzees and, take care of the situation the chimpanzee way. Okay? Pause. Pause. All right. I know it's comic book fucking philosophy here, right? But if any flaw in the system is tolerated, well, then you're just inviting the system to go to where it is now, which is based on and entrapped in complete corruption. Corruption being everybody there now isn't there for the vote. They're just there for the money. And the power and influence and whatever else you want to quantify as having the ability to make decisions on others' behalf without their involvement, which is what they are drunk with the self-delusion of ego immersion that scenario invites. All of them. Or you're taken out. So, whatever that leads to in its cesspool of discovery, I don't even care about. That's why I say forgive it all. Forgive it all. You ended up here because the system tolerated flaws way back in the 30s, 40s, 10s, millions of years ago. We just don't think our species is up to embracing its fullest potential. We expect our species to be less than optimal. Yeah, well, if you give Congress insider information that they have to legislate appropriately about the corporate structure and its financial entanglements, and then you expect them not to act on that in their own financial advantage kind of way, you're just asking too much. All right. Then fucking set off the nukes. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Well, that's why we're here. That's what this moment is. This is a time to say, actually, the species that is humanity is worth it. We are worth embracing our best versions of ourselves, because when those versions show up, we are fucking awesome. There's no war. There's no murder. There are solutions and expressions of the abundance that is possible when humans cooperate with the intention to lift everybody's situation to the optimal position it can be. You ever see the dancing Krishna carvings that just express joy in forever captured rock-hewn relief? Well, that's what humanity's capable of. But we're also capable of creating something called a howitzer tank. I think it was a tank. We're capable of creating hate for each other that demands all our creative energy go to figuring out how to destroy each other. I mean, as games go, this game is more exciting. I don't even, what is it? It's more stressful, that's for sure. The only flaw in the system is the flaw that we think we're not worth it. Or he's not worth it. Or she's not worth it. Everybody's worth it. Everybody. Every body in a human meat suit is worth it.